Happy Monday, everybody. I hope you had a wonderful weekend. Today, I want to talk to you about how we create progression in the gym, why that's important, and especially what we're doing with our repetitions and weight and things like that to make sure that we're getting the most out of each and every gym session. So first, I think there's a couple really important things to discuss. One, what are different forms of progression? Also, why is progression, or more commonly known as progressive overload, important to your gym session and to your progress? So first, let's talk about progressive overload or progression within your workouts. Progressive overload is really the essence of why we go to the gym. It is a constant challenge to the body that creates a stress that causes adaptation. Meaning, I am going in, lifting a weight that's hard for my body to control. So that way the signal gets sent to my body that we need more muscle to move that weight. Now, where people tend to get hung up on this is they stay with the same weights or the same reps for too long. Their body adapts and then they're kind of just maintaining and not continuing to progress. Progressive overload is really what keeps us on track towards our goal, and without it, we're just going to be doing a lot of work with very little to no results. So the different ways that we can progress or stimulate progressive overload, the most common is more weight on the bar or in the exercise, more repetitions. The other things that we can look at is technique improvement, range of motion improvement, more sets. So all of these things, essentially anything that makes the workout more challenging, as long as we're challenging strength, if our goal is building muscle, is how we can progress. And we really want to think about how can I progress each and every workout. Now, that being said, the goal isn't always going to be to progress every single exercise, every single workout. That's just unrealistic. And in the beginning, you might be able to accomplish that. But as an advanced lifter or even an intermediate lifter, my goal is to just try to progress at least one thing each and every workout. And the easiest way to progress is weights and reps. So where a lot of people get confused or go wrong is when they're following a program, which you should be. If you're not, let me know so we can fix that. But when you're following a program, you're going to see an exercise with a target number of sets and reps. So it might be barbell bench press for 3 sets of 10 repetitions. What I see a lot of people get hung up on is they will do everything in their power to make sure that they hit exactly 10 repetitions, which means a lot of time they're actually limiting themselves. They might be able to do more weight for 8 repetitions or the same weight for 12 repetitions, but because their program says 10 repetitions, they stop there. And this is okay if you do it once, maybe twice, but if you're going on week 3, week 4, or week 5 doing that same process, then you're really leaving a lot of progress in the bank. So the way that I look at it, again with that example of 3 sets of 10, I actually look at that more of like 3 sets of 7 to 12. And I will progress either on weight or reps and that's how I try to progress each time I go into the workout. So again, I might jump, get 3 sets of 10 at 100 pounds, one workout. The next workout, I might go to 105 pounds and I might do 3 sets of 8, and that's totally okay. So I progressed in weight, and yes, my reps came down a little bit, but that's okay. I progressed in weight. So then the next workout I'll go in and maybe I can get 3 sets of 9 at 105 pounds. And then the next workout, 3 sets of 10 at 105 pounds. So now I'm progressing the reps. And then once I get 3 sets of 10 at 105 pounds, then I might go to 110 pounds and restart that process. Or if you feel like you're not ready to jump up in weight, maybe instead of doing 3 sets of 10 for the 3rd week in a row at 100 pounds, I'll go to 100 pounds, but I'll do 3 sets of 11 or 3 sets of 12. And then once I get to 3 sets of 12, then I'll try to go to 105 pounds. But either way, we're kind of using reps and weight to ladder ourselves up. Sometimes the weight's going to come up and the reps are going to come down a little bit. And sometimes the reps are going to go up and the weight's going to stay the same for a little bit. But each time I'm progressing when I go into the gym. This is called a double progression. And that's what I really want you to think about when you're going into the gym to ensure that each workout is efficient and working you towards your goals. Because the last thing I want is you to be spinning your wheels and feeling like you're working really hard. So as a quick recap, Just a reminder that each and every workout, we want to go in and try to progress at least one thing within that workout. And a lot of times, the way you're going to progress is either by adding weight or adding repetitions. And again, it's okay if you add weight for the repetitions to be a little bit under what your target is. I would say staying within a 2 to 3 plus or minus for reps for what your target is still a really safe place to be. And in most cases, I would urge you to increase the weight and be a couple reps under the target for a little bit. I want you to think really push the strength, because that is the adaptation we're after. We all want to build more muscle. We all want a faster metabolism so we can be more lean year round, so we can manage more food. So we want to challenge strength. Now, the only word of warning with this, or two things that come to mind. One, of course, technique always takes priority. So if you feel like that's starting to slip, then maybe that's a situation where I work on reps for a little bit longer or increase my reps for a little bit longer before loading more weight. And then two, make sure we're not taking the reps too high or too low. Again, a 2 to 3 rep swing in either direction is generally fine. But if my set target of reps is 10 and I'm doing 4, that probably means it's too much weight on the bar. So hopefully this helps clear up how you can progress each and every time you go to the gym, why that's important. And again, if you have questions or right now you're not on a plan and need a plan, please don't hesitate to reach out, comment below, or shoot me a message. All right, guys, have a great week, and we will talk soon.